is Nick Oliveri. I'm a service learning representative from California State University of Monterey Bay. Happy to be doing a video today on an adult fiction book chat for Matrix by Lauren Groff. So just to summarize real quickly, without any spoilers, it's about a girl, a teen girl, or a girl that grows into a young woman rather over time, Marie de France, or Marie de France, and she actually comes from nobility, and it's a story of almost riches to rags and then to somewhat of prosperity again, and I'll get into what I mean by that in 1 second. So Marie de France starts out as a noble person, but is said to be the illegitimate child of the queen, where the queen basically there was an affair that produced Marie de France, and so therefore she was castigated from the nobility forever, really. And then even while she was in the nobility and among the royalty of the region, she was treated very poorly. And this is medieval France, what was modern day France. And so Marie de France then takes off and she's sent to an abbey or a nunnery. And she's taken in by these nuns. The very head nun treats her quite well and has a lot of respect for her. And there's another nun, the second in command, kind of the right-hand woman to the top, is very curt with her, very disrespectful to Marie de France. And frankly, just gives her a very not warm welcome. But the rest of the nuns are very confused and very puzzled by her. So one thing to note is Lauren Groff actually paints Marie de France as a rather, she even says it explicitly, an ugly woman, an ugly young girl, unsightly and very tall and unattractive. And she even goes on to say like how unattractive it is for women to be tall and gangly. And so Marie is also castigated for her looks, for her appearance. So all in all, Marie de France is a very sympathetic figure for how often she's unappreciated, underestimated, and mistreated. Now, the latter part of the book, though, in the more nonconformist section, the more kind of, screw authority section, if you will, and the more feminist undertone of the book, which actually is quite beautiful, is how Marie de France takes all this underappreciation and mistreatment and she internalizes it, and somehow an anger comes about where maybe she's disrespectful and she does some immoral things, but she also takes this nunnery, she gets angry at their lack of resources and then twists it the other way, whereas she takes control of the abbey, and they gradually and then rapidly no longer need for resources, but rather see this abundance of resources, this abundance of just of things, of material goods, but also just prosperity in general. And I know I'm being fairly vague because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but really Marie de France, will say, is a transformational figure. I have a paragraph marked down that I just wanted to read, and I want to read this. The point of this is reading this in a vacuum because I just gave you a lot of context and in a summary, a synopsis of the book, and a tiny character study of Marie de France. What I want to do now is just read a part of the prose of Lauren Groff's that really struck me, the reader, and hopefully maybe it strikes you as a listener right now. Here it goes. Then the moment passes and she sees how impossible keeping Eleanor would be. Surely they could have only taken a phantom of Eleanor, not the real woman. She remembers a play of Euripides, how the true Helen of Troy was not in the besieged city during the Long War, having been replaced there by a goddess-configured figment. The true Helen was living in the sunlight and flowers of Egypt, far from bloodshed and the stink of death. I read that, and particularly the last part of that paragraph, the stink of death. It's very evocative, is what I'll say. And what I loved about not just that tiny passage, but that passage being a representation of how the book is written, is it paints a vivid image in the mind of what's going on, but also what's going on in the minds of the characters. So this has been a book chat for adult fiction of Matrix by Lauren Groff. If I missed something, or if you really liked something I said, or if you liked the book yourself and you want to comment, maybe you hated the book, maybe you don't like Marie de France, maybe you think she's, there are a lot of ways you could say she's overzealous, she's angry, she's needlessly aggressive. There's so many ways you can take this book, and I want to hear about them all. So feel free to comment, feel free to like, and I really appreciate it. Once again, I'm a service learning representative from Cal State Monterey, and I really appreciate your time.